The education system needs a big revolution. It has been the same over a few centuries. What the state of it today is that there are students who are simply struggling to keep up with the mattering given by the school. How unfair is that when they've already given their all, and when it's final season and when they receive their final reports, they'll have to be labeled as a failure and be shunned down amongst their peers. They will be laughed at because they have failed. We must acknowledge that there is a wide spectrum of students. There are geniuses that can ask questions search engines that are powered by AI don't have answers for. And those geniuses are held back by time constriction, shackling them to be amongst their peers, their age. This then will impact on their genius, and as well being taught by the same with the ordinary. They then will never face a challenge nor a new knowledge in school, but will rather be watered down by the same things they already know prior being taught at the school. It becomes tough on them too. This side of the house is proud to propose a new era of education where we must scale them by competence and intelligence and teach them based on that, not by age. We as the government, after abolishing, meaning to change all schools' way of assorting students in grade, will provide socializations and many social campaigns normalizing age gaps between students in schools and grades, so as to not create any age-cis disputes and discrimination between them. Protecting whoever wants to gain knowledge and to make sure to make students be able to study at their own speed. We as the government also has obligations to make it so as our future generation to come is ensured and safe. Because these people and the youth generation will be the successors of the nation. They'll be the ones we are leaving the nation to. Heck, they are the ones we'll task with the burdens of the world, social problems to solve, environmental crisis to avoid, and all in all, to keep and maintain the peace in the world. This then will need competent people who are not just those who have succeeded in passing their grade, but people who are confident with what they know and people who know how to use their knowledge. This is developed in early stages of education. We can no longer rush or hold people back from, because it's their rights to own their own personal speed of learning and understanding. Those are our obligations as the government. My first argument then would be the wide range of students that needs to no longer be held back by their age and when they were born, a variable that they cannot control, but rather skills and ranges of knowledge they can have more control over. This then will be a form of more personalization any student can ever ask for. They'll be granted with more freedom as to grasp as much knowledge as they want to, as far knowledgeable and far further feats of knowledge they can have. And they'll be granted with, and if it's now normalized, and people will no longer look down on someone, and to be able to actually use it amongst people who understand what they are talking about. The wide range of students who will now not only be surrounded by people who understand them, will be able to keep up and enjoy studying as it doesn't put as much pressure on them as it did before, when we are categorizing them by age and when they were born. We are striving for abolishment in the failure title. Some students fear and some must face in the span of their education. If we categorize them and sort them by age, which is already such a vague variable, some of them will have to face the fact that they might fail even though they've given all their best. We are striving to remove this. We are striving to give them their own speed and their own platform to actually enjoy studying and to actually have a concrete base of knowledge. In conclusion, it comes with a lot of benefits that help both struggling and striving students, in which this will come with the extra benefit of lowering stress and boredom many students face. Secondly, the competition for occupations everywhere has been getting tougher and tighter. Education is the basis of someone's future and success. If we are still to stick by the same old rules and sort them by age, this then will not solve the problem of people everywhere struggling to get into an occupations, since some of them are simply not ready yet. Their basis foundation is not sturdy yet. Because we are talking and conversating regarding the primary and middle schools, then we are primarily changing the basis of knowledge that most students will need to come with. That usually comes attached with one's future resume. If it's not solid enough, then they would not be able to gain an occupation that they are comfortable with. Right, so if we are to change, however, students will be granted their own speed to develop basic skills. Then we needn't worry about who will graduate first and who will be working first, because it's no longer will be, oh, you're 11, then you're going to graduate primary school next year. No, it will no longer be like that, but rather you as a student is solid enough and knows enough to graduate and move on to the next step of education. And at the peak where everyone will be able to look and scavenge for an occupation while resting easy, knowing that they are smart enough and that they are ready enough to hand and to get an occupation field that they are comfortable with. That is the future that we as the government side is advocating for. That is what we want. We must, again, abolish these old stereotypes and this old way of education. We must revamp the education system, and it starts with this.